And we're live. This is Tanya Lacey, and I have with me the one and only Greg McConnell, who's a lifestyle entrepreneur. And I'm very, very excited to have him on my Positivity Show, talking about business, talking about health, talking about fitness, talking about all sorts of amazing things. And the way that we actually connected was through social media. So without bogging us down, I'd love to now introduce you all to Greg McConnell, and I'll get him to just share a little bit about why he perhaps reached out to me and you guys in my positive business community. And, we'll just have a bit of a chit chat and see what we can create and how we can support you guys in my business community. Over to you, Greg. Welcome. Welcome.
Thank you, Tanya. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. First question or first answer to that is, hey, I reached out to you on LinkedIn, and the main reason was, firstly, the way you presented on LinkedIn. Very professional. I read your summary. You were definitely someone who I wanted to reach out to, especially in 2018, and connect with. And we hit it off straight away, didn't we? We hit it off. We had a chat. It was a very casual chat. I reached out to you to see if you were interested in the health and wellness aspect that I'm doing, or whether your network is. And we really we connected straight away. So
we did. Awesome. If I can jump in, I was very impressed at the beginning, and you talked about your story, and I'm very interested from my standpoint about high performance and leadership and business. And the particular aspect of your story that really piqued my interest was around the high-performance golf coaching. And if I've got that right, did you want to just share a little bit about how that all came about, Greg, and what you're up to?
Yeah, sure. So, Tanya, for 15 years, I've been a golf professional. So for 5 years, from age 18 to 23, I played professionally on tour. I played on the Australasian tour.
Okay.
Got to a point where, unfortunately, I ran out of money. I didn't make enough, and I broke my leg at age 23.
Okay.
I then went into coaching.
Mm-hmm.
For 10 years, became an elite golf coach. So I was coaching at the highest level. Everything was going great. Professionally, everything was going super, exactly where I wanted it to go.
Was this in Melbourne? Was this in Melbourne?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this was in Melbourne. This was at the National Golf Club in Melbourne.
Okay.
Down on the Peninsula.
Yeah.
And professionally, everything was going great. I was coaching elite players. My diary was booked out in advance. And I'm sure people who are listening on right now would understand the fact that if professionally you're going very well, however, the thing that was struggling for me was, number one, my health.
Okay.
And number two was the fact that I wasn't seeing my kids grow up.
Okay.
So I was
So
working.
were you married at this point, and sort of this was your professional career, and you were putting all your time, effort, and energy into this? This was your income and providing for the family. Is that how it was?
Yeah, exactly right. So we weren't married at the time. We had two little kids under the age of 2 at the time. So 2 kids under 2. I was the breadwinner. I was working 5 days a week in my full-time job, and then I was working on the weekends coaching golf at 2 different facilities just to make ends meet.
So you would have been pretty stretched then too, bouncing between, doing all that stuff. Yeah, just stretched. Would you say?
Yeah, definitely stretched. I felt like I was on the hamster wheel. I felt like there was no light at the end of the tunnel.
Okay.
And the thing was, my health was struggling so much that I was reliant on coffee to get through the day.
We can all relate to that with the coffee, especially in Melbourne.
Exactly right. I love the coffee, but when you're starting to have 2 or 3 coffees a day to rely on it, it's starting to affect you. So something had to change.
Okay. So what happened? What was your turning point in your story? So what actually caused you to, okay, this is enough? What happened?
Yeah, so I just knew that I knew through being in a very affluent golf club. So I was teaching people that were very successful in their own right. CEOs, entrepreneurs, business owners, and they were all telling me a very similar story, that you have to leverage your biggest asset, which is time.
Okay.
You need to leverage that.
Leveraging time. Okay, that's a key message. Just so you know, Greg, I'm on live here. I've just onto my page. Got a few people here listening in and picking up. We just had Brendan talk about, being on the hamster wheel and totally and absolutely being able to relate to that. So this is very relatable for people. Okay,
Yeah.
so you heard people that you were working with who were quite successful talking about leverage, talking about how you've got to leverage your time. Okay, so get to this. Yeah, okay.
It just kept on coming into my head. Every time I'd ask these successful people, what do you do? What have you done to get to this point? How come you can play golf on a Thursday?
Yeah.
And you've got this awesome life and a great family and all of this. Where's the balance come in? And it was leveraging your time.
Okay.
You have to be able to leverage your time.
So this is your first kind of alarm bells, words, standout moments where you're like, okay, you're hearing this language, leverage your time. Okay.
Yeah, and what I was doing was trading my most valuable asset, which was time, for money. So I was charging my hour.
Yeah.
Every single hour. I was charging it out, and I could only earn a certain amount because there's only a certain amount of hours in a day.
Capped, you're limited, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was completely limited. I was working more and more hours, and I thought, how are we going to go on a holiday? Do I just work more hours? I couldn't work any more hours. I was working 7 days a week. So
what were your energy levels like at this point, and just in terms of mood and grumpiness and stuff like that? I mean, everyone who is got that work hard ethic can definitely relate to this, right? So you're a high performer yourself. You're got probably an A-type nature, drive. Where were you at in your own balance, like in your own inner grump? Was that person coming out, or were you?
Yeah, I was struggling big time. I was waking up as if I'd already worked 10 hours. Okay. So I'd wake up at 7 o'clock as if I'd already finished the day.
Okay.
So that was the first thing. So then I needed to have a coffee. I needed something to get me going, to feel like I was okay. I put all my heart and soul into working at work, and then by the time I got home, I'd crash on the couch. I'd have half an hour with my kids. I'd put them to bed, and then I'd go to sleep.
Okay, got it. Radio. So then what happened?
Okay, so I looked into a business model where I could definitely leverage my time that was related to health.
Yeah.
Because I'm passionate about health. I wanted to help my students and my clients and people around me.
Okay. So sorry, Greg, just on this, were some of your clients and your elite clients, were they also, even though they were sharing with you as business owners, CEOs and entrepreneurs, this leveraging time thing, were they also in some respects struggling with their own energy and their balance as well? Like, was this a topic of discussion and they were sort of making them, like, were they stressed when they got to the golf course because they knew that they had to play golf to kind of have their break, or was this stress thing kind of in their world as well?
Yeah, definitely. So definitely the way that their bodies were reacting to their lifestyle. So that was huge, and I would talk to them about their golf swing and say, you know what, you need to improve your posture. You need to improve what's going on around your belly. Like, the reality is you're only going to hit the ball so far because you don't have enough leverage.
So had that whole visceral fat thing going on around the time.
Right. The visceral fat happening in, and I was explaining to them, when you're trying to play golf at the highest level and trying to improve, that all parts of your body have to be on point. Not only is the coaching, your practice, your nutrition is massive. So I was seeing this huge gap in my clientele that they needed to improve their nutrition. Especially my high level players around me.
Okay. So when we spoke, you are, I'm actually speaking to you now, and you're in Queensland, and you've got this whole new lifestyle. So, and hence the lifestyle entrepreneur thing. You've got something like 5,000 people, 5,500 people in your organisation. So I'm interested in that, the how you got from this to there, and the leadership and what shifted and what changed for you. You've got a brand new lifestyle. You're leading an organisation. You've got your family time back, and this is the stuff that had appealed to me as well.
Yeah. So the big thing for me was finding a business model that I could do that had no overheads to start off with, because I was strapped for money. I was strapped for time. I needed something I could do online. I needed something I could do after work hours or before work hours.
Okay, so you're fitting this in with your core routine, and you were just looking at how you could manage it.
I'm adding it to the 6 to 7 days a week work I was already doing.
Okay.
So, like, what hours of the day can I work? I can work from 7 p.m. till 12 p.m. at night. So I had 5 more hours to work.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, so I've got 5 more hours to work a day. I can find a model that's no overheads, that's in health, that I can impact more lives, and I can do it in that 5-hour period. And you know what my goal was, Tanya?
What's that?
Literally wanted to earn $1,000 per week
Okay.
to produce 1 day a week of work of coaching.
Okay.
So when I used to coach and charge out my hourly rate, I would charge about $800 to $1,000 a day coaching golf, right?
Got it. Yeah.
So I needed to earn $1,000 a day to get 1 day back to my family.
So
that
this
was
is the
it.
whole like replace your income thing, or just supplement it. This was the first step. The first little goal was just supplement and go for that $1,000. Yeah.
First step.
Okay.
So the first 6 months was to earn $1,000 a week, and I call it the hustle. So you're hustling on the side of your full-time income, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So this doesn't include your full-time job.
Yeah.
This is hustle money, where you're hustling on the side outside of your work hours, trying to bring in an extra income.
Okay.
So first 6 months, that was our goal, to hit $1,000 a week. We hit that after 6 months. I was able to reduce 1 day a week, which then gave me more time to put into this business that I was doing on the side.
Okay.
Now, fast forward 14 months. So to give everyone an idea on the call tonight, if you want to make a difference in your life, turn the TV off. Turn it off.
Turn the television off. That's what we're saying. I've got my live people here, and we're just saying turn the television off. Didn't watch any television. I have no idea what's happening in the news. Is that ignorant? I don't know. But we're now, I was able to talk to someone at 5 just before dinner, had dinner, and now we're connecting, and we're building relationship and connecting because we're not watching the television. So yeah, I'm with you on that. Okay.
To switch it off. On average, 27 hours. We watch 27 hours of TV a week, Australians.
And it's not called programming for no reason. We won't go there.
That's right. So I turned it off. I said, you know what? I'm turning the TV off. It's not happening. So for 14 months, we didn't watch TV.
Okay.
We worked from 7 p.m. till 12, between 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. at night. Some nights was 12 p.m.
Okay.
And 14 months later, from starting, I resigned full-time as a golf professional.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
that's massive.
Months, it's not like a 10-year period here. This is a 14-month time frame where my wife and I literally transformed the direction of our family's life forever.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
So went from on the hamster wheel to full-time at home with my kids. And it was really important. It was a really important stage for us to have both parents at home. Okay. So I commend those mums at home that are doing it on their own, because it's really fun.
For all those stay-at-home mums watching, got it. Okay, so I'm going to be the skeptic, and so tell me about this business model and how you got involved. So it's a health product. It's all about cleansing the body, high leveling your nutrition, up leveling energy levels. And this obviously was something you started to get involved and take for yourself and your clients. Is that how that started?
Yeah, so it all starts with you. So it all started with me. So I needed to make a transformation in myself for me to even be able to share it, right?
Okay.
So it's called nutritional cleansing. So you're literally cleansing toxicity out of your body. So you're rejuvenating your damaged cells.
Yeah.
You're getting visceral fat, which is the deadly fat around your organs.
Yeah.
Then you're flooding your body with the highest quality nutrition you possibly can, along with your whole food diet. So this doesn't replace your diet. It works in conjunction with a whole food diet. Okay. Because I want you guys to understand on the call tonight that unfortunately nowadays our food is nutritionally bankrupt.
Okay, I'm just going to pause you there, Greg, for 1 second. Anyone who's watching, yes, love the hustle idea, and yes, TV is rubbish apart from the occasional DVD. Okay, so I've got Greg McConnell with me. We're on a call for Positivity Show, and we're just talking about how he transformed his life and the particular direction that he went into, taking himself from, stressed out and pulled in a million directions to living a really good lifestyle now, having great leading an organisation of about 5,500 people, a lifestyle entrepreneur, and just the journey and how he got there. Okay, so this is all about now nutrition and energy, and I know a lot of the high-performing people and people who want to genuinely be positive and have big energy levels and so on would be interested in this, so they're not living on the coffee and to get energy up and then the alcohol at night to wind down, all that stuff. Everyone knows that cycle. So you started flooding your body with these nutrients because food's not, just playing that back, food's not giving you that. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. So unfortunately, we were eating organically before we started nutritional cleansing, and we had no energy. You know,
Okay.
we were spending a lot of money. We had no energy. I'm sure you guys who are on the call tonight would agree that, you know what, how can we be paying $4.49 for an avocado and $1 for a cheeseburger at McDonald's?
Yeah.
It does not make any sense to
Yeah.
me. However, we've got this system whereby you can get rid of the toxins out of your body and flood it with high grade nutrition. Your body needs 90 trace minerals to function at its highest.
Wow.
Unfortunately, and this is a crazy, crazy stat that, you know, food nowadays compared with 1950, 1960, when our parents grew up, it's not how it is nowadays. It's so nutritionally bankrupt, and it's starved of the nutrients because
Is it soil or chemicals, or what's the main source for that, or genetic engineering, or what would you say the main, your research is?
Yeah, it's definitely over farm tenure in the sense that, you know, we've got more population now, we've got more people to feed, and we're trying to get this food to the supermarkets. However, by the time it gets there, you know, the studies have shown that it's nutritionally bankrupt. So, you know, unfortunately, when you're putting this food into your body, you think you're getting the nutrients, but you're not. So nowadays, we need to supplement our body just to raise that nutritional deficit up, so that we can function the way we're designed. But like when you look at food nowadays and how we try and diet and how we try and live out of the healthiest body we can, we have to get rid of the toxins first.
Excuse me for a second. Someone's just acknowledged you saying that it's a huge leap of faith to give up $250,000 a year. Job well done. You must have done the numbers on your hours as a golf coach or whatever. So, you know, this is sort of the feedback. Okay, good. All right. So you really got into this. You start researching it. You get really involved. You immerse yourself. What kind of results did you start to see for yourself and your family? Like you said, it starts with you. So what was the things that you started noticing when you were actually experimenting on your own body, the results you guys were getting?
Okay, so I was waking up. I was that dad who has two kids, who was working 6 and 7 days a week, relying on coffee, waking up as if it was the end of the day, right? So at 7 o'clock in the morning, I was hitting the snooze button 5 times, minimum, without bed. 13 days after nutritional cleansing, I literally bounced out of bed at 5 a.m. and I was awake for the first time ever with a nice rested sleep. So that was the first thing. I was like, this is amazing. What's happening here? Then I started going to the gym before work as opposed to going to the gym after work. So I used to train 4 days a week. In the first 30 days, I dropped 8 kilos of body fat.
Wow.
Right. Amazing. And then in the last 3 years, I've put on 16 kilos of lean muscle. So the reality is you've got to get rid of the visceral fat first out of your body.
So that's from the inside out, right? That's the inside out stuff, yeah?
The inside out stuff, it's the stuff you can't see in the mirror. It's the stuff that surrounds your organ. It's a deadly fat that you can't see. So you've got to I'm
not bringing it on camera because it wasn't planned to do the live with him. So it's going to be uploaded as a podcast or to see how we go and on the Positivity Show. Okay, this is just a live on my page because we're there. So I'll be posting this on Positivity Show. Thanks for asking. Okay, back to you, Greg. It's Greg McConnell.
Yeah. Okay. So I was starting to bounce out of bed and all of a sudden I'm like, I feel amazing. I felt like an 8-year-old who was about to wake up for Christmas Day. I literally was bouncing out of bed and nothing had changed. I still had 2 kids. I was still working 6 and 7 days a week. But the coffee had gone, the cravings had gone, the energy had just come out of control. So I was going to bed at 9 o'clock at night, waking up at 7, exhausted. Within 30 days, I was going to bed at 11, waking up at 5. So I'd gained 4 hours a day.
Okay, awesome.
So just from that, I was gaining 4 hours a day.
So productivity goes up, energy levels go up, weight comes down. Fantastic. I'm just interested in, sounds like if you're like replacing or supplementing your food intake, that there's I'm just imagining like all this stuff that you've got to take, and is that what you mean by lifestyle? Like, is there a big adjustment to say how you would normally eat when you're doing this, or is it just becomes part of your habit, your routine, your commitment to your own health and well-being? Like, what's a person listening to this that has their breakfast, maybe skips breakfast, skips lunch, and then maybe has dinner too late and is drinking their coffee, like to actually have a routine of consuming these this nutritional boost stuff. What what's the big shift?
Yeah. So the cool thing is, Tanya, especially for busy business professionals, we're time poor, right?
Yeah.
So most people are running out the door. They're on the go. They're missing lunch because they're so busy, right?
Yeah.
So the cool thing about this system is it's superfood smoothies. So you literally have one for breakfast, one for lunch. You have a couple of snacks in between, and all you have to supply yourself is one main meal for dinner. Now, if you're an athlete, that completely changes. You're looking at 2 to 3 main meals, 2 superfood smoothies, and some snacks.
Okay.
So it's not one size fits all. It's making sure that we're getting the right nutrients and the right calorie levels into your body so that you can perform at the highest.
Awesome.
So that's the simplicity of it. It's very easy. It's 30 seconds. It's in your body for breakfast and lunch. You have it on the go, and you're getting a full balanced macro, micro nutrient meal into your body.
Awesome. Okay, so tell me about the business stuff and your philosophy on leadership and, the culture within the team that you're creating. Everyone wants me to bring you on camera, and that wasn't our plan, so they're going to have to listen to the podcast. Sorry, guys. So this is about now your, building a business and building your organisation and your philosophy. And so here you were as this person interacting with your team, so your clients as your team, and now you've built an organisation. How did you make that transition? What was the biggest mindset shift? I've written down leverage your time. So this whole leverage theme was obviously very prominent for you, but just how did you transition yourself, like from the business perspective? How did you make that jump?
Yeah, so as a leader, I always believe that you have to go first. So that's the most important thing. So as a leader, you are the one going first, right?
Yeah.
So therefore, you have to be the one growing. You have to be the one reading the books. You have to be the one doing the personal development, getting to the courses, getting to whatever you need to do to grow in order to lead a team.
Yes.
So to lead a team, to me, it comes from values. So really important, you've got to have great, high quality values. So, honesty, integrity. But leadership is about caring about every single person in your organization.
Yes.
Getting to know them, knowing 3 things about them and their family.
Okay.
So if you can't tell me 3 things, maybe it's 2 of their kids' names and maybe it's, where they went to school, then you don't know your organization enough.
Okay.
So to me, you have to understand your organization. So there's a great book by John C. Maxwell called 5 Levels of Leadership.
Yes, great book. John Maxwell's awesome. Maxwell's awesome if you're into leadership and you want to, got it. Okay. Yep. John Maxwell. Go ahead. 5 levels of leadership. Is that right?
That's really important. Really important to understand. Just that book. If you're interested in leadership and growing and taking a team where you need to take them to, then you have to understand the 5 levels of leadership to really grow through that process.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's about going first, and it's about being congruent with what you actually are asking your organization to do. I don't talk to all 5,500 people, let's face it, because how can I have that much time in the day? But we do have our leaders within our organization. I speak to them daily. But if I'm asking them to do something, I have to have done it already. And I have to have gone first to show them.
The thing that I get about you, like when I talk to you, is just your conviction. And I don't really even know all the ins and outs of everything in terms of the product and so on. What I was really attracted to in having this conversation was your reach out, your boldness, your as-ising it, taking an opportunity and kind of walking your talk. And then when you told me you took that leap, and there's so many people, Greg, sitting there that are not happy, they're not content with where they are in their life. They don't feel that they could make that courageous leap, and they just tolerate it and they stay where they are. They whinge and they complain and then they lose time. They surround themselves with friends that, validate their decision to not move. And I don't mean to be cruel, but, if you're not happy with where you're at, do something, shift up. Life is very short. And so, we have choices, and I think you exercise that choice, and that in itself is, really, really admirable. So what's your vision for your organisation, and how can I support you in getting your message out I'm obviously going to upload this to my tribe at Positive Business People and my tribe on Positivity Show. It'll also go out to my Unlock Your Business Genius people, so the entrepreneurs. But what would be some key messages, and what is the opportunity or the insight that you'd like to expose these guys to?
Yeah, so great questions. My vision for the organisation is really to impact 1 million people's lives.
Wow, just a little vision. Impact 1 million people's lives.
So that's the aim. Like, the reality is, I've been doing this 3.5 years. I love what I do so much. I'm so passionate about it because I know how we're in a crisis with our health. Let's face it, 66.7% of Australians are obese, right? 70% of Americans are obese. We're in a crisis of obesity. And 1 in every 3 children are obese. So the next generation coming through, we're not educating them. Our food's not where we want it to be, right? So I've got such a huge passion about impacting world health.
Got it.
So 1 million people by the time I pass and go on to the next life is where I really want to see this at. 5,500 so far. I really believe that we can achieve that.
So is your goal, when you say that million, is that to have that many people in your direct organisation, or are you just thinking in terms of people accessing the technology or accessing this system, or just the ripple effect of 1 million? Like, how would you quantify that? I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I'm just curious, is that like 1,000 people directly, 1 million people directly? Or are you thinking if you knew that you'd touched 1 million people's lives, that would, like, if you had 1 million people on your Facebook or LinkedIn community or whatever, like, how do you measure your million?
Yeah, so it's definitely not from me contacting 1 million people, because I can't contact 1 million people. So I need other people in our team, other leaders. In order to do that, they need to rise up and contact their 10,000, their 20,000.
Got it.
So for me, we've impacted personally 200 people's lives in 3.5 years, which has expanded our organisation to 5,500.
Right. Yeah.
So from that point of view, I don't really have a number of how many people I'm going to impact personally, because I just don't know.
I think to be really fair, I mean, you don't know. I mean, even just whoever's listening to this could, get in touch with you. Like, we won't know. We won't really know. And someone might play this to someone else. And that's the part where I think you want to just be the ripple. You don't always know exactly. I just wanted to get a bit of a feel for what's in your mind. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely about the ripple effect. And Tanya, that's a huge reason why I reached out to you, because you know what I'm looking for? I'm looking for very highly influential people.
Yeah.
Because to have that as a goal, to have that as a vision, I need people like yourself, Tanya, who are very, very highly influential, right? In order to create that ripple. Let's face it. That's what I'm here for, is to impact people's lives in a positive way. Whether it be health, or whether it be earning $100 a week to help them pay for a mortgage, or help them pay for their car repayment. Like, $100 a week on average, if we can bring in $500 to a family, we can save so many more families from breaking up. $500 a month. So $500 a month is the difference between families staying together and breaking up.
That's crazy stuff, isn't it? I was just having a conversation with someone the other day whose whole vision and thrust of everything they're up to was because when they grew up, all that they experienced was their parents fighting and arguing about money. And so they have just spent their whole life really motivated and driven to never have that problem, and educate people around money, and to get them, self-sufficient with income and so on. So really, really noble stuff, and really, really touching and impactful, because these are the everyday stresses, behind the doors of what's happening at the Joneses. We don't see all those arguments and so on, and it is happening. It really is happening. So, okay, that's fantastic. So what we're talking about is you've walked your talk. You're using this system, you're exposed to it, you've tried it and tested it, it's up-leveled your own levels of energy and so on. You've grown an organisation. If people were interested to understand how they could find out more about the business system or the products themselves that are up-leveling, how could they do a reach out to you? Is there a link or something you could get to me that I can include, or is it something you can say on online now that people could just search you and find you?
Yeah, I can definitely get a link of our business page, which is called Ignite Your Life with Rachael McConnell. So our business, through Facebook, Rach has a business page where she does a lot of lives on there. I do mainly my work through LinkedIn,
Okay.
having a professional background. So anyone can follow me and contact me through Greg McConnell. With regards to LinkedIn. So I can send you a link to my LinkedIn and also
That's a good idea.
Well,
I'll put that on the SoundCloud. They can reach you and contact you, because that's how we connected, was on LinkedIn. And that strategy is really working. It's really interesting. I had a gentleman on called Howard Fox from Chicago talking about how can we expand our networks and our influence through LinkedIn. And then in the background, you and I had reached, you'd reached out to me and we'd had our dialogue and conversation, and here we are talking about how people can find you on LinkedIn. So that's a really nice little full circle.
Yeah, I'd love to do that. I'll put my link in there, and
Okay.
I'd love to do that to anyone who wants to know more information, because it's about education. It's about letting people know that, like there is an opportunity. There is a way. If you're stuck, if you're in a situation where you don't like what you're doing, but you don't know any other way, because unfortunately we've been taught to go to school, get good grades, and then go to university, come out of university and get a good job and have that for 40 years and then retire on 40% of what we can actually live off.
Absolutely.
It's like, that to me is like, you know what, there's a different way. I'm 34 years old. I have financial freedom. I've got time with my family. And you know what? It's like, now it's time. Let's take it next level and impact more people. I'm not sitting on the beach, lying on the beach every day. I'm contacting you, Tanya. I'm contacting other high-level quality people.
Great.
Because I want the ripple effect to keep going. I want to share this with people.
Is there one, if you never get the opportunity to talk to my community again, what would be the one sort of thing that you'd like to say to them and have them know as part of your legacy?
Yeah. You have 168 hours in a week, and you have between 7 o'clock and 12 o'clock every single night to literally work on your fortune. So you literally can work part-time on your fortune while you pay your bills with your 9-to-5 job. And the other thing is, and I always say this to myself, is that we get one chance, one go. And why not make it the best opportunity possible? Why not have the best life ever, as opposed to lying in your bed when you're 80, 90, 100, whenever it is, with regret? Because that's poison. Regret's poison.
Hey, you know what? You just made me want to ask a question. I just got a comment on that, which is it's a one-box deal. I don't know if you've been into any funerals lately. I certainly have been invited to at least 4 in the last probably, 2 months. And, only one person is in that box in the end. So this is our own opportunity. So I'm curious, who's the oldest sort of member in your organisation? Like, have you got sort of people, in different age ranges? I don't mean to take this off on a tangent. Sorry, I'm just curious that, is it an opportunity for people who are maybe retired? Is it too late for people in their 50s, 60s to get involved with something like this? Is this more targeted at, young crew, or, who would be your oldest kind of member?
Okay. So the one gentleman in this organisation who started this at 73 years old. He started at 73.
That's so inspiring. I love it.
So he started at 73. So he was a butcher. He started at 73. He retired. He was bankrupt. He had nothing.
Oh my
gosh. 73. Yep. At 73, he started. By the age of 87, 88 years now, right? He's immersed over $34 million for his family through this same model.
That's ridiculous.
Model. So he started at 73, at 88 years old, so 15 years, he's immersed over $34 million for his family, and he's impacted over 500,000 people's lives.
That's just ridiculous.
So when it comes down to age, there is no barrier.
Yeah, okay, got it. Just will, readiness, right context. I have this saying, Greg, you want to be in the right place at the right time with the right people for the right reasons.
Mm.
And, I do get a lot of people reaching out to me. You can imagine that, right? And then you did, and I'm like, what? I'm going to go here. I'm going to do this. So I'm really, really glad that I did. And I want to thank you for your generosity and all your sharing. And I know that there is definitely someone listening who's eager to find out more and can find you on LinkedIn, private message you and say that they were listening to your conversation with Tanya Lacey and that they'd like to know more, and could they have a chat to you or one of your team. And wonderful. Well, thank you very much for your time today. Really appreciate it. And I know that this is, another pathway for people. They want to up-level their energy. They want to, look at another alternative way of creating income and revenue. Let's have a look at it and have a chat to you, Greg. Thank you very much for joining me on the Positivity Show.
Thank you, Tanya. It's been amazing.
I'll talk to you on LinkedIn soon. We'll see how many reach outs we get and go from there. So, guys, just thank you very much, Greg. So, guys, we're just finding our rhythm with the show. I've got an audience in the UK, the US, in Australia. So we're just finding our rhythm with our times. I'm going to post this as a podcast. And thank you very much for listening. To find out more, check out the link below so you can get in contact with Greg McConnell, lifestyle entrepreneur. Thank you for joining us and have a great night. Thanks, Greg. Bye.
Thanks, Tanya. Appreciate it.